So I don't mean to say that the parents and the teachers are detached from the students' lives. It's not that at all. It's just the student has more freedom at Xavier. So if a student wants to get up and walk around in the middle of class, they can do that. If that's what they feel they need at that time, there's no hall passes to go to the bathroom, right? There's not that structure that you might find at a normal school. So I'm someone that's super structured, right? It's like you look at my schedule, everything is listed out. Like I'll even put in, I'll put in the littlest details of what I need to do. Check emails, wake up. Like I'm super structured type A person. And so when I first went to Xavier, I had my class, it was all structured and all of that. And then what I realized after the first year is like, these kids and in this setting, we're going to do better with less structure. We're going to do better letting the students guide the discussion. And so that's what I did the second year. And man, it was so much more fulfilling, so much more exciting. So I wouldn't go in with like this pre-scripted lecture on what I wanted to talk about, how many, calories is in a gram of protein, right? I would let the kids kind of guide the discussion, and they were super interested, and I feel like they learned so much more. So I think that might be an indirect way to answer your question, but I was really impressed, like someone who is very structured, I was very impressed with how well that model works for these kids.
Well, when we think about school, we understand, the discipline and the order, the structure that is a part of most schools. Mm-hmm. But in you communicating that Xavier's is a little bit different. I don't know what a teacher would have done. Yes, I do. Would have done if I just got up and started walking around the room,
right?
And then just not even having the hall pass. In regular school, public school, you got to have that hall pass. You can't be. You got the hall monitor and all those things. Do you all have hall monitors where you are?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
I mean, people. The cool thing though is everyone knows everyone.
Okay.
And so there's like a very clear communication among the teachers, and if they'll know where the student is. It's not like no one's keeping tabs on the students or anything like that. They're very much aware of where the students are. But yeah, I mean it's not what I was used to when I went to school, but it works.
Being able to give them that freedom,
Mm-hmm.
the ability to exercise their differences and valuing their opinions, their voice, and young people need that. The millennials get a bad rap altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But when we consider what the millennials are bringing, all together, there's so many intelligent free will thinkers, especially in the young generation. And we see some of the productivity. Tell us your part as a teacher of Xavier, because we got a chance to talk about just a little bit, but I want people to know what you do actually as a teacher.
Sure.
For Xavier, and then everyone there has their own expertise, and they bring everybody brings something to create this wonderful place.
Yeah. Okay. So I am basically the nutrition and the health teacher, fitness teacher at Xavier. So of the 3 local campuses, I do something a little different at each one of the campuses. So there's the Woodlands, there's the Memorial Spring Branch area, and then there's Westview. So Westview and the Woodlands are a little bit more similar. Actually, this will be my first year teaching at the Woodlands, which I'm super excited about. But at the Spring Branch campus, I actually go in and cook with the kids. So I'll find whatever healthy meal or whatever meal, let me say, whatever unhealthy meal it is that they're accustomed to, I'll find a way to make it healthy and in a way that they like it and that it tastes good. I'll bring in the ingredients and we'll cook it together as a group. And the reason why it works is because they do their school out of a home, and there's a kitchen and utensils and stuff. And so we cook together, and they usually really like the food. And I try to show them, okay, instead of doing your standard spaghetti and meatballs, we're going to use spaghetti squash. We'll use the spaghetti sauce, but we'll try to find one with not like a whole bucket of sugar added to it, without a bunch of preservatives added. We'll make our meatballs out of grass-fed beef with some good either pasture-raised eggs or some cage-free, preferably pasture-raised, though, even though they're a little bit more expensive. And so I'll just find the good quality ingredients and bring them in and show the kids, like, hey, this is how we can make what you love in a healthy way. So that's, and then after we go to the park, and because there's a park right there, and so we play whatever they want at the park.
You know, I was having my Scooby-Doo moment while you were talking about altering and changing the spaghetti, and I was like, like, I know the kids,
like,
because
no.
you're talking about taking away the sugar and all the things, but I understand healthy living and trying to eat better and do better. That's one of my deficiencies. That's just not my area. But when I think about Xavier and what I know, and you all have been a sponsor and promoter of KNLY for some time, and so we thank you so much for being a sponsor and supporting. But when we think of schooling, and you know, most schools and teachers have vast numbers of kids, and so all the kids in that classroom may get overlooked, may not get the necessary help or attention that they're needing. But you all are a little bit structured a little bit different, because your classroom size is not, it's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
You definitely give the kids the ability to exercise freely, just independently, or they're just their own will. How have you seen the growth aspect of each kid being able to have that one-on-one or that intimate setting?
Well, you know, a kid is less afraid to ask a question if there's not a dozen eyeballs on them. If there's only a couple other people in the room, they start to speak up a little bit more. And I really feel that to get the most out of a classroom setting, there has to be interaction, there has to be engagement. If a student is totally disengaged, and they're not going to really get a lot out of that session. And so the students in my class, and I'm sure I can speak for the other class as well, they really do engage and they participate, and they're not afraid to speak up, and they're not afraid to talk. And some of these kids may have been a little bit more timid or less willing to speak up maybe in their prior classroom setting, but they just feel like they're able to thrive a little bit more, like they can be their individual self, you know? So I think it's been a really cool experience.
You know, we're in the, I don't want to use season, we're in that time and space in society and life, bullying being a major thing amongst kids. And then, you know, especially in larger settings, but now in the smaller setting, as it relates to Xavier, how have you seen that play out, or is that a major part where you all are so close, family oriented, and knit, that you all are able to encourage? You know, it's just a whole nother dynamic for you all.
You know, I think some of these kids may have come from a place where they did get bullied. I personally have not experienced bullying, not to say that it's never happened, but in my experience being there for 3 years, I haven't seen these kids bully each other. I've seen some kids have to get dealt with, not in a horrible way, but like, hey, we're gonna, you know, tone it down a little bit, like we're not gonna jump off of the couches right now, type of a thing. But I have not seen disrespect. I haven't seen bullying amongst kids. I can tell you for sure, like the kids in my class, they've never like picked on another student. And sometimes you get into territory and topics when you talk about food and what you're eating at home and nutrition, and people tend to have different views. You get into a territory where sometimes you might be opening yourself up to getting bullied or picked on. Like, you know, sometimes the things that these kids would tell me that they would eat, right, is much different. But no, I haven't experienced it. So maybe I'm lucky. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I don't have to deal with that this year, right?
Did you just hold on? Because I mean, did you just like knock on your head as the wood?
Should I have knocked on yours instead?
Here's some wood.
Oh, here's some wood.
Not mine. No,
not the barber's. I didn't know you were a barber until you mentioned that. By the way,
I've been a barber for 34 years, and I tell people, you know, when it comes to life, you have to be open to the one who navigates it, and that's God, who created us and places us where we're supposed to be. He brings us into the doors and opportunity, as well as the relationship. And you're a great example of that, because you've transitioned from New York. Actually, I want you to give them your roadmap. See if they can keep up.
Gosh! All right, so here's the United States, right? Oh yeah, we're live too. I don't even know where the camera's at. Which one should I be looking at? Right there. All right, here's the United States. You see my calloused hands, everyone? They're pretty gross. So okay, we went from New York to Florida to Orlando. By the way, when I was in New York, I probably moved around about 10 times, like within that city. So lots of moving within the first 13 years of my life. Then to Orlando, then to Tallahassee, then to Missouri, then to Houston. Done.
So just you know, when we talk about, you know, how God moves us around, you had to come all the way here to be able to contribute what you brought to the table for the students. When I think about how schooling has just changed drastically, the curriculums have changed. The things that were required when I was in school, they don't have to learn to write in cursive. Is that
right?
So
I wouldn't imagine
that has changed, so that they don't have to write in cursive. One of the key things that we know has been removed from schools, and so when I heard you mention the park is right next door, though they're implementing eating healthy, changing some of the vending machines and things that and what is brought in the schools, and not just in public schools but in private.
Right.
But for you all still implement the exercising, the going out, because I don't think kids even go out these days. I don't know.
Yeah.
But recess. I know they still have fun day or field day or whatever it's called. But do they really exercise? Do you all implement all of the things and some of the things that you grew up doing?
Yes, and so let me also add here that we call him coach. There's also fitness and PE instructors in addition to me. There's dance instructors. So I would say Xavier and the people that are in charge at Xavier, they're very careful about making sure these kids are moving, are exercising. It's so important. I mean, I'll give an example. In my class one day, it was raining, and there were a couple kids that wanted to go to PE, but they couldn't because it was raining, and so they were going to sit in on my class. And I could tell, they were a little upset about not going to PE. And they were a little, tired and maybe not super energized. So I said, all right, we're going to get up right now. We're going to do some jumping jacks. So we did 20 jumping jacks, did a few more, I call them the Marios, you jump and you do one of these. and man, those kids were so happy after that. I was like, do you feel a difference in your energy just from getting up and jumping around a little bit? Like, yeah, we feel better. And then I had this one student, she made it a point to wake up early before school and exercise. And she was, really trying to be healthier. And I give her so much credit. She was doing all the right things. And so she told me, she's like, I feel so much better since I've been waking up and doing a little exercise, just, 20 minutes before school. She says, I think better at school. I just noticed so much of a difference. And something I'm very passionate about is I want people to, when possible, if they're dealing with something, they're not feeling good energy, they have a health issue, I want them, when possible, to turn to lifestyle and nutrition first. And if that's not fixing it, okay, let's do the medicine. But do you know how many times we could fix something with nutrition and with lifestyle, and we don't have to deal with all the side effects of medication, and then 10 years, 20 years down the road, we're not now taking another medicine to cover up the problem that this medicine created. And so you talked about God has his purpose in our life, and God moves us. And man, I could, being we have 30 minutes, I could go off on a whole other story about how God brought me to Houston. I mean, that was unmistakable. It was just incredible, but that's a whole other story. But I really believe that, God wants us to eat the food that he put on this earth for us to eat. And we don't need to be filling our bodies with so much of I'm on a radio station, so much of the junk, with so much of the junk that we think is food, and it's not food. It's not. It was never meant to be put in our bodies.
Listen, I'm glad that you brought that up, but we're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back so that we can talk about eating healthy and let you go on so you can carry this whole 30-minute segment.
Deal.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY, New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
Xavier Academy is a full-service, accredited private school offering personalized curriculum and extraordinarily low student-to-teacher ratio. We emphasize academic success, personal growth, and social skills in a rich and stimulating environment. Xavier Academy The Woodlands offers summer school tutoring and credit recovery through the end of July. Our website, www.xavieracademy.org or 713-389-5545.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
H-Town is the most culturally diverse city in America. H-Town Award's sole mission is to celebrate the great diversity of our city. Our artists, citizens, and philanthropists and businesses are second to none. H-Town is the best city in the world, and our people are the best people on earth. Join us in celebrating all musical genres and the diversity of our beautiful city. H-Town Award Show, November 2019. We'll see you there.
For more information, follow us on social media at H-Town Awards or send us an email at info@htownawards.com.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
For fresh flowers fast, call Barb's Iris Floral at 281-820-2294 with excellent customer service since 1983 for weddings, funeral services, sweet 15s, corporate events, and all occasions. For that special someone you love, barbsirisfloral.com and barbsirisfloralboutique.com. Come on in and pick out of our prestigious gallery at 727 Westmont Houston Road, Houston, Texas 77038. Text 832-466-8414. Barb's Iris Floral delivers fresh flowers fast.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
There's a special place in the Woodlands where you can feel comfortable opening your business. We are located at 10210 Grogan's Mill Road. Our building has a unique Vedic architectural design with landscape grounds and lakeside views, on-site management, and maintenance. We also provide free Wi-Fi and the opportunity to promote your business on 91.1 FM The Boss. This wonderful location is near the Woodlands Mall, Market Street, and just minutes from Bush Intercontinental Airport. 10210 Grogan's Mill Road, the only social media building in the Woodlands. Don't delay. Schedule a tour today by calling 713-777-7368.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
We're back, and you are tuned into the Daily Buzz. And my guest, not only my guest, but today she's a part of the hosting department. She is literally helping me along this 30-minute journey. Ms. Lindsay Day of Xavier Academy. We're going to actually change the dial just a little bit in our conversation because we left off talking about all the junk that we're eating and what God has intended and purpose and how you are implementing that at Academy, or how Xavier hired you on to do just that. And you had to go through all this long list of travel just to get here, to get here. And I can't wait to hear maybe at some point the story of how God got you here. But we know that he got you here for a purpose. And I tell people God created us with other people in mind. So tell us a little bit outside of the nutritional, and all the things that you're doing at Xavier. But you have a business as well. Several businesses. You wear several hats.
Yes.
So let's deal with the main one in the sense of eating better, healthy, and Lindsay. What is it called? Lindsay
Day Fitness.
Lindsay Day Fitness.
Yes, that's, I guess if I had to name my business, I never really thought about what I was going to name it. I was like, I don't know, I just help people get healthy. Do I have to call it something? Yeah, but I went to school for meteorology, so did not study this whatsoever, and I worked for TV stations in Tallahassee, in Missouri, and then that's why I moved to Houston. Was for my meteorology job with Fox 26. And then after a year of doing that, it became very clear that I was being called to help people get healthy. I was very unhealthy. I was struggling very, very much so with my health, with the morning shift. Without too many details, I had 3 separate doctors independently tell me, if you don't start sleeping like a normal person, this is not going to end well for you. 3 separate people. And so once that third person told me, I'm like, okay, I'm just crazy if I continue to do this, because the things like the different health markers were really getting bad really quickly. And so I started sleeping like a normal person, ate nutritious food like I always do, cut back on the working out, and today I am healthy, thank God. But basically, what I love doing is helping people get healthy, helping them feel good. I am a certified personal trainer, so I did get my certification in personal training.
Okay.
So now I personal train people mainly on Skype, so I can train people from all across the country. I developed an online nutrition program I call the Charge Up Challenge, and that's actually what I'm bringing to Xavier as well, because I'm a believer that, okay, I can talk the kids' ear off for an hour. Sure, I can tell them how to eat healthy, but their parents are feeding them. If their parents aren't on the same page, if their parents are giving them, $2 to go to McDonald's on their lunch break, then that's what they're going to eat. And so I need the parents to be hearing the message of health too, and to know the message that eating healthy does not mean you're eating food that doesn't taste good. The food is delicious. You just have to know how to do it. So basically, my Charge Up Challenge is an online program. It requires about an hour and a half max of someone's time each week, and I educate them with quick videos on, there's a different topic each week. I have topics even on sleep. I have one whole topic dedicated to sleep, which
that
you're
one.
probably don't tell me that.
No, really, I need that. I said, when we're done, I'm going to ask, because I understand the importance of getting some rest. And we talk with our tech, Ivan, and we know that being in this industry, or being a business owner, or pursuing whatever your passion is, sometimes we miss the importance of the foundational thing, and that's taking care of us and trying to. There are a lot of people pursuing their dreams, but they got to still consider, and I'm talking to me too.
Yeah.
Taking better care of yourself so that you can see it all the way through.
Yeah.
I put a post out a while back, says dreamers dream but they don't sleep. But we have to know how to have balance and find it, and it can be challenging in what we do.
Yeah.
Now, you being a meteorologist and now doing what you're doing now, did you see that change? What caused you, outside of we know God influencing you, to go from, my health is being jeopardized because of what I do, and that's one part of it, but it has to be another part that now becomes your passion. It becomes the very thing that provides that peace, because I tell people your peace is where your passion is, and you're passionate about people. You're passionate about people eating healthy and having the knowledge, and so it's good that you've taken the approach of not limiting yourself to just a building, because people think, I just had Pastor Sheets on of Abundant Faith, and we think it's about building, and this is the temple, this is the building, and you've literally brought the freedom of, I don't have to have the stress of getting to a certain place to work out. I can just Skype Lindsay and it's on.
Yeah, you can create your reality. I am a big believer in positive thinking.
Wow.
And one day I said, you know what? I want to be able to create my own schedule. I want to be able to go to which is where my parents are, go to Orlando, which is also your name, to be with my family on holidays. Now, don't get me wrong, I probably work. I definitely work more now than I did when I was TV, but it's on my terms, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I can go to work and I don't look this gross, but I can go in sweatpants and a t-shirt and totally sweaty, and no one would say anything, right? So it's pretty chill and laid back. But I just wanted to create my own schedule. I wanted to be able to sleep in past 3 a.m. I wanted to just have a little bit more freedom, and so that's kind of how I designed my schedule. But with that being said, I still stay busy from. Basically, I work from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. every day. Today I started at 5:30. I had a special client, but yeah. So I definitely stay just as busy, if not busier, as before.
Just to hear you say, listen, Ivan. She says being able to sleep in past 3. I'm like, most people should be asleep at 3 o'clock.
Well, you guys understand that, right?
The morning show has started here at KNLY. So if you're not tuning in, listening to Sydney Young and DJ Acosta and DJ Travesty early in the morning, you're missing out on a treat. Now, everybody can't get up. Everybody's not a morning person, but to hear you say 3 a.m., I'm like, I'm just going to sleep at that time. So let's talk about, we know the importance of sleep. eating healthy, changing diet. How does someone just make those kinds of adjustments? Because some people go in and it's drastic.
Yeah.
What would be some of the secret things that you can point out and say, hey, just start doing little?
Good. Okay, so I like to look at a hierarchy, right? You have your things at the bottom that are foundational. So if we don't have the foundation, let's not worry about getting all the cherries on top. So if someone is interested in, maybe losing a little bit of body fat or feeling more energized, right now, intermittent fasting and ketosis is all the rage. Not anti-intermittent fasting, not anti-ketosis. I do implement those as tools in the toolbox for myself from time to time. But I do believe that if you are telling yourself you're never going to eat another carbohydrate again in your life, that ain't going to be so good for your health. You're going to miss out on a lot of key nutrients. Fruits and vegetables, extremely important. And so basically what I tell someone, if you're interested in losing a little bit of body fat, which is what most people come to me for, you want to eat your protein throughout the day. I know it's real big right now, don't eat breakfast. But this is what I've experienced. People will let their hunger build so much throughout the day, and then they go and they have this huge meal, and because their hunger hormones are out of control, and then they feel stuffed after, and they don't make the best decisions when they're hungry. Am I right or am I right? Like
that's me. You're preaching to me. I promise you, I do it. I run all day, and then at the end of the day, I'm trying to get that meal in and trying to decide, and my choices are not good.
Exactly.
So, you have done a wonderful job. You got me through 30 minutes and kept me
Man,
awake
we
because I
we
need to
could
get
have
some
done an
sleep.
hour.
I mean,
We could have done an hour.
I got to get some sleep, and I
He's
got to eat better. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to give them the information in reference to being able to connect with you, Facebook, Instagram, any of that good stuff.
All right, sure. So on Facebook, Lindsay Day Fitness. Lindsay spelled with an E, so LANDSEYDAY Fitness. On Instagram, at Lindsay Day Fitness. No spaces, just at LANDSEYDAYFITNESS. And I also do YouTube videos, so if y'all write to me on Instagram, ask me any questions, I do Q&A YouTube videos to address any questions people have. So I'm going to fully answer that question, being I didn't really do it justice. What are the foundational steps that people can take if they just want to, what's the low-hanging fruit, basically, is where I like to start.
Listen,
so
I'm going to get that information from Lindsay, and it's going to be on my page. I'm going to actually make it a part of KNLY. But we want to thank not only you, Lindsay, for coming and stepping in and representing Xavier Academy well. So thank you, Xavier, for not only your sponsorship, but your overall support of the station. Thank you to our listeners and our viewers. This is The Daily Buzz. I am your host, Orlando Daniels, and this is Tuesday. Make it a great week. You all be blessed.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world.